For those of you who are Christians and very conversant with the scripture, when the hour has come for the Son of Man to be crucified, when the hour was due, when Jesus signaled the beginning of his suffering and consequent death by crucifixion on the cross. If you read the Gospel of St. John chapter 12 from verse 23, if you begin to read the Gospel of St. John chapter 12 from verse 23, Jesus exclaimed, saying that the hour has come. And so, indeed, the hour has come for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. If you watch the last video I made about Nnamdi Kanu, when he was asking the prosecutor, when he was asking Justice Omotosho to show me the law where it is written that you have the right to jail me. If you watch that very video, I said it categorically. This is a defining moment in the life of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that it is either he regains his freedom happily or he will be thrown into prison. Now, the court has found Mazi Nnamdi Kanu guilty of 7-count charges. And Federal Government of Nigeria prosecutor goes even further, extremely recommending a death sentence. Make on watch the video.
With all sense of humility, I say, sir, as a prosecutor, that this court has no discretion in that regard, and that the only sentence that your lordship will impose for counts 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6 is death sentence. This court has the power to do so, and with respect must do so. The language of the act is clear, and the court is urged to apply it strictly without deviation.
Now, having established that, if you don't get data, go and collect data, because the full details are here. As we speak, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been sentenced to life imprisonment. But wait a minute. But at the end of this video, I will tell you something, because I don't want to speak too much. We have already done due diligence on this matter. I invested my time and energy on this issue. I sense that Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, wants to be a hero from this Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case. I will explain, but take your time and watch this video, and I will meet you at the end of the section.
With animals, Fulani Janjawi, they do not reason, unquote. It is important to state that the said hotels and Muritala Muhammad Airport and other property in Lagos, they are not in the north, where it seems to hate with passion. Even his own fellow Igbos people have property in Lagos. With destroying the property is said to be agitation for self-determinations. The threats and destruction which follow were corroborated in Exhibit PWD2, which is a pictorial pictures of the assessment of damage done to the Nigerian police alone in the state of southern states. So many of these police stations and even police officers were killed as a result of the incitement by the defendant. Also, Exhibit PWD2A, which is a compilation of death reports and certificates of death of security officers in the report. The number of police officers who were killed was given as 128. Military officers were 37. Other security officers as 10. Number of police stations attacked were 164. INEC facilities destroyed were 9 in number. This clearly shows the extent of damage caused by the defendants through his inciting statements. Another caller called into the program informing the defendant that he was at Oshodi Papa Expressway and that they are killing them. The defendant, annoyed by this information, stated for, and how many police or army did you kill? I don't want to hear that. They are killing you. How many did you kill? Unquote. The caller then responded that they have burnt the Orile police stations and in Lassa police station. The defendant then told the caller not to wave the green, white, green flag of Nigeria, but a blood-stained flag with the color green, white, red. He further responded to another caller by saying, what I want them to do is to set ablaze the United building along Marina on fire. Every federal government property in Lagos should be burnt. That is what is going to be signal to the world that people have had enough. I want every federal government building in Lagos to be on fire. Every federal government vehicle or anything belonging to federal government, burn it. Go to the Muritale Mwane airport, burn it. How many soldiers do they have? Manufacture your own weapons and ambush them. Unquote. The result of this incitement is the killing of several military officers, police officers, DSS officers. The incitement also led to the destruction of several police stations in Lagos across the southern states of Nigeria. According to PW5, he led a team of officers to investigate the destructions and killing of the security personnel that occurred during the NSAS protest of 20th October 2020, as contained in Exhibit PWD2 and Exhibit PWD2A. The results were quite alarming. The court is mindful not to attribute all the happening during the NSAS protest on the defendant. However, there is no doubt that the incitement by the defendant contributed likely to the killing of security operatives, as well as destruction of public properties. The defendant incited people to destroy properties such as the Lassa police station, other police stations, and properties of the government. The evidence before this court shows that the said properties were actually destroyed, such as the Lassa police stations, the High Court of Lagos in Igoshere, as well as BRT buses belonging to Lagos State government in Oyinbo. PW2 also testified that military couples were killed by those incited by the defendant in Olu in Imo State. In addition, PW4 stated that his driver and one of his tactical officers were killed as a result of the incitement. The action of the defendants were clear, as it was aimed to cause anarchy by killing security operatives in Nigeria, which would in turn lead to breakdown of law and order. The defendant had an evil intention to wreak havoc on the people and government of Nigeria. All these actions consistent with agitation for self-determination. The answer to this is in negative. His violent outbursts, as well as his instigations of the public to attack and kill security officers in southern Nigeria without provocation, was downright barbaric and without any conscience whatsoever. The defendant did not feel any concern for the family of the officers who were slain. He turned himself to a tyrant who could take life anytime he pleased. Such person cannot be allowed to remain in society of sane minds. His shocking instigations to kill other human beings was incomprehensible, and this court hereby condemned it. But I must say that the evidence extracted is minute compared to the avalanche of. I must say that evidence extracted in this judgment is minute and very small to the avalanche of evidence and broadcast before this court by the defendant. The defendant made extremely threatening statements, incited people to violence. The prosecution has successfully discharged its burden of proving counts 4 and 5 beyond reasonable doubt. Consequently, the defendant is hereby convicted of the said counts 4 and 5. Now, count 6. For count 6, the defendant is charged with the offense of making a broadcast received and heard in Nigeria within the jurisdiction of this court, in furtherance of an act of terrorism against the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the people of Nigeria, in which he directed members of the indigenous peoples of Biafra, a proscribed organization, to manufacture bombs, thereby committing an offense punishable under Section 1(2)(f) of the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act 2013. Section 1(2)(f).
Now, having taken you through the details where the prosecutor was enumerating all the content of the 7-count charges of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, this was the defining moment when Nnamdi Kanu was sentenced to life imprisonment. Mona, watch the video.
Globally, is now being frowned upon by the international community. Consequently, and in the interest of justice, I hereby sentence the convicts to life imprisonment for the said counts 1, 4, 5, and 6 instead of death sentence.
What do I mean that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will likely become a hero, would want to be a hero from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case? It is now an established fact that federal government of Nigeria through the court has found Mazi Nnamdi Kanu guilty of 7-count charges and consequently has been sentenced accordingly to life imprisonment, bordering on terrorism and treasonable felony. But this is what is likely going to be the turn of events. Don't forget that 44 lawmakers had earlier before now, in the last 48 hours, appealed that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case be reviewed, that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu look into this very matter. They were also appealing to the National Assembly. This is what Tinubu is likely to do. After Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been sentenced appropriately, Tinubu will come in, either to grant Mazi Nnamdi Kanu clemency, presidential pardon, or either go as far as reducing his sentencing, either reducing it from life sentence to 21 years imprisonment, or 15 years imprisonment, or 10 years imprisonment, or even 5 years imprisonment. That is probably part of the game plan, to grant him freedom in order to take credit and take the glory as the superhero who has done what is undoable. The same way he granted clemency to some other persons we have seen in the past weeks or months, up to about 173 Nigerians, including the woman that stabbed her husband. He's going to do that. It may not necessarily because he wants to do that, but for the singular reason that there is an election coming up in the year 2027. By so doing, he would have succeeded in his mind that he has bought over finally the heart and minds of the people of the South, especially people from the southeastern part of Nigeria. This is one aspect of my permutation, my thinking, my guesswork. Or Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu will keep silent. And by keeping silent, his argument would be that he decides to be neutral, to allow the judiciary to do their job, to allow the law to take its course. But whatever happens at the end of the day, it may not be very far from this submission, from these permutations of mine. The only thing I can say at this material time is this: may God have mercy. And finally, like I said earlier, I wish Mazi Nnamdi Kanu the very best of luck. We have spoken so much about Nigeria and the Nigerian judicial system. I don't want to overflog and begin to re-echo what I have said earlier. But at this point, I will allow you guys to be the judge. Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comment section and share this video. Man, another person, Siam. God bless you.